Lankavatara Sutra, Chapter 1, Part 1. Thus have I heard. Once a Bhagavan was staying in the south seas on the peaks of Lanka, in a place adorned by countless jewels and flowers. In addition to an assembly of great monks, he was also joined by a host of great bodhisattvas from other Buddha lands. Led by Bodhisattva Mahasattva, they were the masters of every kind of samadhi, spiritual power, and psychic ability, and were the recipients of the blessings of countless Buddhas. Skilled in the knowledge that eternal objects are perceptions of one's own mind, they had opened doors of liberation for beings of every mental and physical capacity, and were thoroughly versed in the 5 dharmas, the modes of reality, the forms of consciousness, and the 2 kinds of no-self. At that time, the Bhagavan had been expounding the Dharma for 7 days in the palace of Sagara, the Serpent King. Upon reappearing, he was welcomed by Sakara and Brahma and a host of serpent maidens. Lifting his eyes and beholding Lanka's Mount Malaya, he smiled and said, "On Lanka's Mount Malaya, the Tathagatas, the Arhats, the fully enlightened ones of all the past, have taught the self-realization of Buddha knowledge, which is beyond the comprehension of Sarakas and Pratagya Buddhas or the mistaken followers of other paths. Today, for the sake of Ravana, ruler of the Yakshas, I too will teach this teaching." By the power of the Tathagata, King Ravana heard these words of the Buddha and knew that the Bhagavan had reappeared from the Serpent King's palace, accompanied by Sakura and Brahman and countless serpent maidens. And he saw the thoughts of those that in the assembly, stirred by the wind of externality, rising like so many waves in the oceans of the respiratory consciousness. Ravana shouted joyfully, "I will go and invite the Bhagavan to Lanka for the lasting happiness and welfare of humans and devas." King Ravana then mounted his flower-decked chariot, and with his royal rotain went to see the Buddha. Upon arriving, they all dismounted and walked around the Bhagavan 3 times from left to right. Meanwhile, the king's musicians strummed lutes inlaid with aquamarine, using picks of bluest sapphire. Then, hanging from them at their sides some straps of clossiest cloth, they sang gathas in praise of Buddha, according to the Gamma and Marchana modes in the Kishkaska melodic style, accompanied by a chorus of flutes. To the Dharma treasury of the self-distant mind, free from detachment or belief in a self, may the Buddha teach us the path to knowledge found within ourselves. In his body of perfect merit, displaying the transformed and transforming, the joy of self-realization, may the Buddha come to Lanka today. Buddhas of the past appeared on Lanka, accompanied by bodhisattvas of countless forms. Pray honor us with the peerless Dharma, yet every shaksha is hoping to hear. Ravana, king of the Yakshas, then sang gathas in the Tokaka meter. After 7 nights, the Buddha has risen from the sea, where Leviathans dwell. From the palace of the Serpent King Sakura, happily he's come to this shore. And now that the Buddha has risen, I will come with my Aspra queen, with Sakura and Saranana, with the Yakshas and learned men. Conveyed before the Buddha by the unseen force, we dismount our flower-decked carts and bow, present our names and offerings, and hope for the Bhagavan's blessing. I am Ravana, who comes before you, the 10-headed king of the Yakshas. May the Buddha favor this Lanka of mine. and all who dwell in its towns. Buddhas of the past within its cities, upon jewel-strung peaks, spoke of what they themselves obtained in the realm of self-realization. May the Bhagavan do so as well. Gather with the sons of victors, the residents of Lanka, and I would listen to his teaching of the purest Dharma. To the Lankavatara praise the past Buddhas, to what they themselves attained, the realm of the self-realization and all my other schools. I beg the previous stages. Buddhas accompanied by sons of victors recited the sutra out loud. May the Bhagavan do so today. Buddhas in the future and the sons of victors, they too will pity this yaksha assembly. They too will listen to Jewel Dick Summit and teach this profoundest of teachings. The city of Lanka is a city of wonders, adorned with every known jewel, surrounded by lovely cool peaks and shaded by canopies of pearls. Yakshas, present today, Bhagavan, have transcended desire and anger, have honored the Buddhas and looked within, have urged each other to turn to the Mahayana. Yaksha, boys and girls, as well thirst to hear of the Mahayana, to the city of Lanka, a Mamalaya. Bhagavan, come be our teacher. Kumbhakarma and his Rakshas, they also dwell in the city. Devotees of the Mahayana, they too would learn about self-realization. Having honored Buddhas with devotion in the past, they do hope so again, out of compassion, please come with these sons of victors to Lanka. Mahamanyani, accept my palace, together with the Saspira host, my crown, my necklaces too, and my delightful Askaka groves. As I possess, all I possess, I give to the Buddha and to these sons of victors. There is nothing I would not give. Mahamuni, have compassion on me. To this, the Lord of the Triple Realms replied, Guru of Lakshas, to this jewel pink the teachers of the past have come. Out of compassion for you that have taught, with way of self-realization, and on this jewel adorned peak, so they shall teach in the future. For this is where practitioners dwell, who delight in which is present. King of the Yakshas, you have known the compassion of Sugatas, and now shall know mine. Accepting this invitation, the Bhagavan stood without speaking. Ravana then offered his chariot of flowers, which the Buddha mounted and rode inside. With his retinue, I don't know this word, Ravana followed, along with the Bodhisattvas as the Buddha advanced toward the city. Aspara sang and danced in his honor. Once the Buddha had passed through its gates, to the reverent bows of the Yaksha throng, joined by Ravana and Yakshamen, and also Yaksha women. A group of Yaksha boys and girls presented the Bhagavan a net of pearls, while Ravana placed strands of jewels around the necks of the victors and the victors' sons. As the Buddha and the wise Bodhisattvas acknowledged these offerings of jewels, each in turn spoke good praise of the fathomless realm of self-realization. Ravana and the Yaksha throng, having honored the best of teachers, asked and beseeched Mahamati, who was known for requesting the Dharma. You have asked the Buddha before concerning the realm of self-realization. We Yakshas and the Bodhisattvas present come before you with this request. You are the most eloquent speaker, a devoted practitioner too. Thus we sincerely beseech thee, Master, to ask the Buddha for this teaching. Free from the faults of other paths, of Pratyeka Buddhas and Shavakyas, the immaculate teaching realized within, this teaching that leads to Buddhahood. The saw Buddha there upon the conjured mountain peaks covered with jewels, beautiful scenes of every sort adorned with countless gems. And on each jewel-covered peak, the Buddha could also be seen. Standing at his side, Ravana, the yakshas, appeared. So the entire assembly was visible upon each summit, and in every land another Buddha was present, and together with the king of Lanka, its residents appeared as well, inside the conjured cities, gazing upon each other. Other things also appeared, the products of the Buddha's power, Asoka groves and sunlit forests, and nothing in any way different. And Mahamati on each peak, asking on behalf of the Yaksha king for the teaching of self-realization, in which the Buddha spoke of countless voices. And after they had spoken, these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas vanished. Only Ravana the Yaksha remained, standing inside of his palace. He wondered what really happened, who spoke just now, and who listened, who saw and what was seen, and where did these cities and Buddhas go? Where did these cities and Buddhas go? Those radiated Buddhas, those Sagatas. Were they a dream or illusion? Or were they the work of Gandharvas? Were they the result of cataract eyes? Or was I what I saw a mirage? Dream children of a barren woman, the smoke of flames from a wheel of fire. Such is the nature of things, the realm of nothing but mind. This is something the foolish don't know, bewildered by false projections. There is no seer, or anything seen, nor speaker, or anything spoken. The appearance of the Buddhas and also their teachings are merely what we imagine. Those who view such things as real, they don't see the Buddha, nor do those who imagine nothing, only those who transform their existence. With this, the Lord of Lanka felt an awakening and transformation of his consciousness as he realized what appeared was nothing but the perception of his own mind, and he found himself in the realm free from such projections. Due to a stockpile of good karma from previous lives, he suddenly gained an understanding of all teachings and the ability to see things as they really are, and not how others see them. How to examine things with his own wisdom while remaining free from the curses of views. And all the abilities of a great yogin no longer dependent on others, namely, how to manifest himself in various auspicious forms, how to master all skillful means, how to know the nature and characteristics of the stages of advancement, how to delight in detachment from the self-existence of mind, will, conceptual consciousness, how to liberate himself from views involving these three continuities, how to refute the arguments of followers of other paths concerning causation, how to understand Buddhahood, self-realization, and the Tathagata Garbha, and how to live with the knowledge of a Buddha. Then, from the sky, and from within himself, he heard a voice say, "Well done, Lord of Lanka, well done. Practitioners should practice as you have practiced. They should say Tathagatas and Dharmas as you have seen them. Any other way would be nihilistic. They should have examined things while remaining free from mind, the will, and conceptual consciousness. They should look within and not be misled by external appearances or fall prey to doctrines and views or meditations of Shavyakas, Pratyeka Buddhas, or followers of other paths. They should not delight in idle or frivolous talk or cling to the views of the Vedas or become attached to exercising power over others or indulge in such meditations as the 6 dhyanas. This, Lord of Lanka, is the understanding of all great practitioners who thereby overcome false doctrines and refute mistaken views, who eliminate attachment to a self, and who make use of the subtlest wisdom to transform their consciousness. This is the Mahayana path that leads to the stages attained by Buddhas. You should therefore devote yourself to such an understanding. Lord of Lanka, this teaching will become clearer to you as you adapt at cultivating samadhi and samapati. But don't become attached to such realms cultivated by lesser practitioners and followers of other paths, or consider the states they might imagine as blissful. Followers of other paths cling to the belief that in itself and the view that the world is real and that material elements, substances, and tendencies exist, or they insist that ignorance and the chain of causation are real. They make distinctions where there is only emptiness. Lost in projections, they become captives of the actors and actions of their own minds. Lord of Lanka, this teaching is the pinnacle of Mahayana understanding, for it enables practitioners to achieve self-realization and to enjoy higher states of existence. Lord of Lanka, through such an understanding, one removes obstructions and calms the myriad waves of consciousness and no longer falls prey to the views and practices of other paths. Lord of Lanka, because followers of other paths cling to their belief in a self, they become lost in dualistic views concerning the nature of consciousness. Well done, Lord of Lanka. As you reflected just now upon the meaning of seeing the Tathagatas, this is how you should view the Buddha. End part 1.